Hi everybody and welcome. I'm Tami from Nutmeg Notebook. Thank you so much for finding us and joining us today. We decided this afternoon that we would do an impromptu YouTube video, although we do have one scheduled for tomorrow and a wonderful interview that we're so excited to share with you. We realized that everybody would be wondering how we're doing, and since we have a guest on tomorrow, we wouldn't be talking about this. So we decided, hey, let's just jump on, and because we need to set up for tomorrow anyway, and let's just do a live show and get everyone caught up on what's happening. So if you are new, welcome. We're happy to have you here. I see that Jessie is one of our moderators, and she is in the chat. So thank you so much for hopping on and helping out, Jessie. We appreciate it. And you never know, Randy and Tiffany might show up later. And if you have questions, you feel free to ask us questions. You can put 2 or 3 question marks before your question and end with 2 or 3 question marks. That just helps your questions pop out. Tom's over there on the computer. He's checking, making sure that sound and picture and everything's going great. And he's going to say hello.
Hello, everybody. We switched over to the other camera. I was just making sure that Tammy's words match up with her lips. So
well, how about that?
Yeah.
Is that a control that all husbands wish they had?
That's a problem. That's a problem off air too, isn't it? Sometimes your words don't match up with your lips. Her lips are always sweet, but sometimes the words aren't.
Well, you're hilarious. He's full of himself.
Anyway,
he has been missing an audience.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, we have COVID. This is my day 9. And
we might be done with it now.
Well, we still are very symptomatic. And this is your day 8.
Yes.
Because you're just one day behind me.
But we're starting to feel actually
much
almost
better.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, almost okay. So yesterday I felt really great, and I did a ton of stuff, and I cleaned out the refrigerator top to bottom, gave it a good scrub, pitched all the stuff that we didn't get to while we were sick.
She was so happy after her refrigerator was clean.
I was.
She says, boy, when my refrigerator's clean, I just feel so warm and comfortable inside. At peace,
I don't think
she's
said
at peace with herself when her refrigerator is clean.
I had a sense of accomplishment. Got the laundry caught up.
Kind of like me when I clean up the garage.
There you go. Did some batch cooking yesterday. Got salads made. So I really felt accomplished. So today I don't have quite as much energy, but
you made that giant pot of
hearty lentil vegetable stew.
Of your lentil stew, yeah.
And I couldn't smell it, so I invited Tom to come over.
We can't. I can taste things now. I'm starting to taste things.
Yeah, that's good.
But
so we took the lid off.
Which usually you get this
beautiful aroma spills out on you.
What do we got? I told her. She says, "How's it smell?" And she says, "How's it smell?" And I said, "It smells moist."
Yeah, we could detect the steam, but we can't smell it. And it's full of herbs de Provence, and we know that it's
We could have saved all that money on
delicious.
spices. You could have just left them all out. It would have made no difference.
Well, eventually we're going to get our sense of taste back. I see Tiffany's here. Thank you, Tiffany, for joining us as well.
I'm going to put you back on your camera. I'm going to go see if my last adjustment on...
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to talk
working.
about symptoms, so I'll talk about mine. Do you want to talk about yours, yourself?
Well, you go ahead, then I'll jump in.
Okay, great.
As I always do.
Okay, so we had dinner with a friend how many days ago? 9, 10, 11 days ago. And the next morning, our friend contacted us to tell us that they got sick during the night and that they had COVID. And so we thought, okay, we're probably going to get it because we spent 3 hours with this person. And so sure enough, a couple days later, we did have it. And so then, of course, everything got canceled. Thanksgiving got canceled for us. And we had already grocery shopped. So we have our refrigerator in our garage was just bursting full of food because I was expecting to cook for like 9 or 10 people and had already bought everything for that. So it was a huge disappointment. We started off with, I started with a really scratchy throat. I never really had like a sore throat, but I just had a really super scratchy throat, a low-grade fever, the chills. I had a lot of nausea, which made it just practically impossible to eat. For a week, I just ate white rice. Like I'd have like a half a cup or a cup of white rice twice a day. And once or twice, I ate a banana. And because the nausea was so terrible headache. I had pins and needles feeling in my arms and in my legs. I got really weird blisters on my trunk, and they were little fluid-filled little blisters, which it's an uncommon thing, but I went on the Mayo Clinic website and they said that people report that happening, and those are healing now. All the pus or whatever was in them is gone, and they were a little bit itchy. Then we started getting both of us started getting a diminished sense of taste and smell. And then yesterday I had like no sense of smell and no sense of taste. I made what should have been a really delicious potato soup for dinner last night. I had this idea to make it in my Instant Pot because my mom had told me she had made a really great potato soup and that I could probably, make one, veganize it. And so I had fresh thyme in it and oven roasted garlic, and it should have been super yummy, and I couldn't taste anything. I could sense that it was hot, and I could detect the texture of the potatoes, but I couldn't taste it at all. And Tom could taste it a little bit. So I guess there will be no recipe testing for me until this comes back. And but you said you did taste the potato soup.
And you could taste the potato soup.
You could taste it a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't smell it, but I did taste it because what they say, your sense of smell is your best memory center.
Yes.
And the texture and the flavor of the potato soup, took me way back because it was like, oh, so comforting. So I was
when your mom used to make potato soup.
Yeah, I was really delighted to have that potato soup. So thank you for making that. No, I couldn't smell it, but I told Tammy, the texture was wonderful. The texture was very texture was memorable with a little bit of taste. It's like this throat coat tea, and this is the throat coat.
It's throat coat, but it has lemon in it. And echinacea.
Why does throat coat tea taste good when you have a sore throat or a COVID? Because it tastes slippery and soothing. Neither of which have to do with flavor, but it tastes slippery and soothing to the back of your throat. So slippery now is officially a taste bud for me.
Right.
So I did. Was it day before yesterday? I skipped my oatmeal yesterday. Because the day before I ate it, and it was mealy. It was just like trying to just plow through this bolo. I usually just absolutely relish my morning oats, the wonderful subtle flavors of the fresh uncooked oats and the chia and the banana and the blueberries, and it's all mixing together, and I just love that whole flavor profile I get from that very simple meal. Day before yesterday, I got nothing except mealy. And mealy is not nearly as enjoyable as slippery and soothing. So I skipped my oats. Yeah, I didn't try to begin this morning. And
how was it?
I was picking up notes of banana and blueberry. So
there was some there.
I'm coming back, baby.
Okay, so when I did a little bit of research with Dr. Google, I found out that about 40 to 50% of people who get COVID lose their sense of smell they also say they've lost their sense of taste, but the scientists believe that really we've just lost our sense of smell, because smell is a really huge factor
Of
taste. And so they say, because, we have our taste buds on our tongue.
It can't be that much on smell, though, because you have all these taste buds on your tongue.
Right. And so you would think that you would have detected something in the potato soup that was in there. But most people regain their sense of smell and therefore taste within about 4 weeks.
Okay.
Some people, it can be a few months. And, they do have a few cases of people who haven't gotten it back at all.
Was it last night I made my Mexican hot salad?
Yes.
And that was really enjoyable. The salsa, the hot rice, corn, and beans.
So if you...
My gently microwaved greens with
So
the
if you
salsa
make it
in
spicier, you think you can taste it then?
Well, I had cumin and salsa in there, and I had some flavor coming out of it. It was very enjoyable. It was like a return to something that tasted like food a little bit. So,
Okay.
But still depreciated, I would have to admit.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But you couldn't smell the stew,
I'm going to go over here and check.
the hearty lentil vegetable stew.
I'm going to go over here and I see the scroll going. I'm going to go over here and check. Hey guys, I'm done with those wonky, weird medical glasses I was wearing.
Yeah, you're all done with all your surgeries.
Yeah. So now, do you like these? Are these great or what? New phase of life. Because I see great out at distance. It's just right down here.
Well, you just had to buy readers. He had to order them on Amazon because he had to cancel his appointment
because of COVID.
With the eye doctor because of having COVID. Because we were supposed to go in. I had my eye exam just before I got COVID, and so we were supposed to go back in and order our glasses.
Yeah.
And then we got COVID.
Yeah, see what's going on is these are my computer glasses. So to see the computer screens, the monitor over here, and my control for YouTube, I have to wear these. But if I want to read something up close, like my iPhone, then I have to put these close in ones to see here. Because I don't see out here. I have to wear these to see out here. And then I wear nothing to see you guys over there.
So I just noticed that these have blue.
They're blue, aren't they pretty?
Those are pretty. I hadn't noticed that before, actually.
Yeah, they are the coolest $19 pair of glasses I've ever had.
So glad you're happy, darling.
Yeah.
Tiffany says, well, Tom didn't lose his sense of humor. You still got your sense of humor.
No, my sense of humor right now is pent up. It needs
it needs out.
It needs some TLC, some exposure to the world.
Yeah, so we did go out. I went for a walk yesterday in the neighborhood, and
Tom, it was my idea the day before.
And the day before, Tom and I both went, and it felt glorious to get outside and breathe some fresh air and
to see things.
Yeah, and we slept a lot. The fatigue has been unreal. So that first week, we just slept and slept and slept. And lots of people, we want to say thank you for to everyone who left us comments, wishing us well. And people emailed us and text messaged us with prayers and good thoughts and sending us healing vibes. And thank you so much. It was greatly appreciated. We just didn't have the gumption to respond to everything, but every time we would get one, it was just a really good feeling. Yeah,
some of you may know that we were obliged to go and do on Black Friday an Amazon live show. As affiliates of Amazon, we're under a contract with them, and so we have to deliver so many shows a month or so many minutes. They measure us by the minute. So we had to do that show, and we were just really faking it. And when the show was over,
we died.
We both went. Well, we did Amazon, and then
we napped.
And we needed to do not Amazon, just general Black Friday YouTube show. Did we do that the next day or
no? Later that day.
So we laid down. Yeah, we laid down, and then got back up because all the equipment was up.
And then I was like, Tom, we really need to go do that live.
So we may not have seemed as chipper as usual, or as sweet as usual. We may not have appeared as handsome as usual.
We got dressed that day.
We did get dressed, which was a plus for the show.
Because otherwise we'd been living in our pajamas.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I started to go outside the other day and forgot, because I had worn my pajamas for so long, they felt normal. I started going outside in my pajamas, but I don't have pants on. I was going to go get the mail. Neighbors do it. I mean, there's been people at the mailbox in their pajamas.
Oh, all the time in their pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
So remember we go on our walks and there's that one lady in that one house up the
she
street.
always comes out and gets her paper and takes the trash out in her pink robe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious. So anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So Tom's, you had a little bit different symptoms. You never ran a fever.
No, I run cold anyway. My average temperature is a full degree less than the general population, so I actually heated up to 98.1 or something like that, which is warm for me.
Which for you is warm. Yeah.
I felt hot. I had the shakes and
Yeah.
and what was, what do you call it? The shivers.
Right, but you'd never had nausea because you were able to eat a little something every day.
No, I didn't really have nausea. On Monday, I had like the weirdest. I don't get headaches, ever since we went plant-based, I should qualify. I used to get tremendously bad migraines, but not anymore. So I had a headache, which was shocking me because I just don't get headaches on Monday. That wasn't my first official COVID day, though. And then Tuesday, I felt pretty much okay, just a little bit of scratch in the back of the throat. I thought, what's going on? Do I have whatever Tami has? So whatever, Tami infected me, I'm sure. And then the next.
No, I think it was our friend.
And then the next day, on Wednesday, I woke up and I just I knew I was sick, and I knew what I was sick with.
Yeah, but I waited till Wednesday to test, and I tested positive immediately. And
I tested Tuesday,
and it was negative.
Yeah.
And so then he retested on Wednesday.
And it was very positive right away.
And it was positive right away. So then we knew. And we will be testing again. The CDC says that we should test on Saturday. And if we are, you need to have 2 negative COVID tests 48 hours apart.
I'm going to go check comments.
To be sure. And so that's what we will do. We will test on Saturday. And if we test negative, then we'll hope for another negative test 2 days later, and then we should be okay to be around people again. And when we had to cancel Thanksgiving with the family, of course, our grandchildren cried because they were so looking forward to coming to Lita and Lito's house and having a fun day with us. But, we've been able to FaceTime with them, and that's been fun to be able to do that. We've had lots of people volunteer to go get us groceries and things like that, but we haven't needed any because we have no appetite and we had an overabundance of food anyway. Tom made a big pot of white organic jasmine or basmati, one or the other, white rice for us because we thought, well, that would be really, easy to digest. And we keep it on hand because our grandkids love it so much. And so that really was our substance. And then, of course, our freezer is full of prepared soups that I've made and batch prepped and frozen in our super cubes. So Tom would just go get a different soup out and heat that up and have that over the white rice. So that worked out really, really well. So I think I'm down about 8 pounds now, but I figure 3 or 4 of that is probably just because I don't have food in my system, because I probably eat 3 to 4 pounds of food a day. And so I just don't have that sitting in my GI tract. So I'm sure that'll kick back up as soon as I'm able to eat on a regular schedule again. So anyway, so that was the, and Chef AJ came by and she gave me a little lounge outfit and she brought treats. and she made Tom this whole, what was it?
Pecan date oat pie.
Pecan date oat pie, and she had faux donuts and all kinds of stuff. But I took a taste of one of the faux donuts because she said that was the lowest calorie density thing she had, and I couldn't taste it. So I thought, I'm not gonna waste my calories then.
There's a detractor in the house.
Ooh hoo.
A lady named Jessie says that oatmeal always tastes mealy.
I think she might be right.
I think, what?
It has that texture.
Oh, you know what I did? I did make it hot one day. I actually cooked my oatmeal. So, by the way, I was going to ask you guys, I think I've got the sound turned up enough on this new mic. It takes a lot more of a boost than Tammy's. So let me know in the chat if it's not coming through clear. There was a comment here I wanted to come to from Connie Marr that's thinking about going to the NHA conference. And we are planning on attending that ourselves in June, and we're doing some work there at the conference. I would comment that the first couple of conferences that Tami, when I was new to, Connie mentioned that she's new to plant-based.
Okay.
They were so pivotal in me internalizing, grasping, owning the information that my wife was trying to tell me.
But you know how they don't want to hear what you have to say.
But when I heard Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Barnard and Dr. Campbell and
Dr.
McDougall, and then the psychological lectures from Dr. Doug Lyle, really cemented, turned the corner, created an epiphany in my head. Going to that physical conference, a whole bunch of other people there, but everybody pretty much glued to the same learning curve, or the same learning experience, was really a powerful thing for me. So we haven't been, I've been to a conference in 2.5, 3 years now because of.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to getting out again in June and going to the NHA in Cleveland, Ohio. If you subscribe to our newsletter, anybody that's listening new, there's a sign up for that at the bottom of our newsletter, or you can just go to healthscience.org healthscience.org is what I'm really trying to say. COVID brain.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. We have really foggy thinking.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes to come up with the words that we want to say. It's so bizarre.
So anyway, if you're new to plant-based, absolutely catch a few conferences. They really also give you an opportunity to create community, which is also another key component. We've had a whole YouTube. We have a Nutmeg Notebook YouTube video called Community that talks about this whole subject. So go watch that one.
And the other thing I want to point out, I was just remembering that I was talking to my friend Sia this morning, and she was saying, you know what, it's really important for you to share.
Sia with 60?
With 60 living. Okay. And Sia said, you know what, Tami, it's really important that you share, you and Tom share about your experience, excuse me, with COVID, because people think because they eat whole food plant-based that they have this armor of protection and that they're, not going to get COVID, or if they get COVID, it's going to not be any worse than having a cold. And so that's also one of the reasons we wanted to come on and share with you. We are sure that, our healthy immune system has, helped us in dealing with it. We are vaccinated and we are triple boosted. And besides all of that, we still contracted COVID, and I would say we've had probably a fairly mild case of it, but trust me when I tell you, we have been really, really sick. So the nausea and the fatigue and the cough and just everything has just been really crazy because we don't normally get sick. Usually like the grandkids get a little virus or something and we don't usually even catch it, except for a rare exception. Tom did catch one a couple of years ago, but otherwise we are relatively...
when my granddaughter sneezed in my face and gave me a severe viral load.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
get
I was
that
sick
one.
for 6. I was sick for 6 weeks from that one sneeze.
Yeah. So my point is, although I think it does offer us a lot of protection and a strong immune system, I'm sure helped us to prevent COVID from being worse than it was, and the fact that we don't have any major underlying health conditions. I mean, really, Tom has none. I just have the hypothyroidism, and so I'm sure that the reason, we don't have high blood pressure, we don't have high blood sugar, we don't have high cholesterol.
Yeah, when I was reading online about this, since we had time to read the CDC, they said, go see your doctor, especially if, and then they listed all the stuff that our lifestyle causes not to be present in our lives.
Right.
So, it certainly did. I know it helped the recovery come along.
Yeah.
And then when I started having chest congestion, I didn't have to have immediate fear of being intubated.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So anyway, and then also I had posted on Instagram and Facebook about having COVID and asked for suggestions on things to watch because we knew we were going to have a lot of downtime.
That was so great. We got so many wonderful responses, and we've been watching some of them.
So we watched a movie called Where the Crawdads Sing. Was that the name of it?
Yeah.
And it was excellent. Many of you had recommended it.
A little bit painful at times, but very good.
It was very good. We've been watching a series called Dead to Me.
Yes.
Which has been amazing.
A roller coaster ride.
Yeah. So riveting.
Every time you think they've dropped a really big bombshell, and then the show goes on another couple more episodes, and then they drop another bombshell. You just don't know what to expect anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what was the name of the movie we watched last night? Noel something.
Was it Noel?
It was more than just Noel.
Yeah.
I can't think. See, this is COVID brain.
Well, it was the younger brother from This Is Us, and the gal from Engine 19. And it was interesting to see both of them in such roles of being such nice. It was a Hallmark movie. It was totally.
It wasn't Hallmark, but it was like a Hallmark
totally
movie.
a holiday rom-com. Sweet little story, very predictable, but in our state, very enjoyable to watch. Something that just was sweet and nice and heartwarming.
Yes.
in heartwarming. So no spoilers. Anyway.
But anyway. And then I've got to go back through the list that everybody gave us and make a list of all the different series and everything that people recommended. And a lot of them we'd already seen.
Yeah.
Things that were recommended.
We should think of I can't talk. Crowdsourcing. We should think about
Noel Diary. Yes, Mary Jo, that was it. The Noel Diary.
Yeah,
that was it.
It was really sweet.
It was really sweet.
Did you cry? Did you get a tear?
Just a little.
You did get a tear.
Yeah, did you?
One.
Okay.
In my left eye.
Just a little.
Because I thought I was going to sneeze.
You didn't see me dabbing my eyes with a tissue.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for all of your support during the past week. We're really behind on everything. We did work yesterday trying to get caught up on emails. So if you emailed us, we tried to find all the emails yesterday and respond to them.
Yeah, if we're ghosting you on something, try again.
That's what I would thank you. That's what I was just going to say.
I did work this morning and got the Nutmeg Notebook announcements letter out.
What about the one lady who hasn't responded who won a rice paddle?
Yeah. Chelsea, we're looking for you. We need your address. You won a rice paddle.
That's right. Everybody else has
It
responded.
was Chelsea, right?
Yes, but
Yeah.
what was her last name? Do you remember?
Well, I wasn't going to give her last name on air. But Chelsea, you know who you are. You registered. You were the only Chelsea that registered, and you won.
Okay.
Everybody else, the other 9 winners, their orders are submitted. It's going to be a couple of weeks before they come out. I'll remind everyone.
Right.
Thank you again to Corey for sponsoring that, and thank you to everyone who participated. That was a fun little contest. We'll have to dust off that software and try it again on something else with one of the other manufacturers.
Yeah, we will.
It was fun to have a treat like that. So.
It was. It really was. And we are so grateful to Corey from Holland Bowl Mill for doing that. He totally blew me away when he said he wanted to do a rice paddle giveaway. And I said, okay, and how many did you want to give away? And he said, 10. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And he was like, your community has been so supportive of Holland Bowl Mill, so we would really like to do something for your for your community.
And a bunch of you did. We don't see who orders what, but we do get to see what's ordered. And a whole bunch of people did take advantage of the holiday weekend promotion. So congratulations to all the new bowl owners out there, and thank you for using the Nutmeg Notebook link to achieve that. So that was a very successful weekend for everybody there.
It was.
So, hey, let's talk a little bit about one of the reasons we went on to... We wanted to catch up with all of this personal stuff because tomorrow it's going to be pretty much straight to business because we have a limited amount of time tomorrow. And so we wanted to give you a little bit of backfill today about what that's about.
Yeah, because tomorrow we're doing an interview.
Yeah, with Vinay Chopra. He is the founder and CEO of Goodself. And technically that's an app that is
free.
It's free. It's a free app that does most of what Instagram does a whole bunch of what Facebook does some of what Clubhouse does. They have been working on it for a couple of years. And intensely, they've been working on it for the last year. We've been in touch with them since fall of 2021.
Yeah. We've had several Zoom calls.
Zoom conferences about...
With the CEO.
Yeah, about content to go into it. And they are creating this platform for the health and wellness community. And the folks that are posting are vetted. And it's generally...
Tom, the camera's over there. Look at the people.
I'm not the camera pro that this one is. I'm a camera rookie.
You got to talk to the people.
I'm used to working it. I look in the little window on the other side of the camera, usually. And you totally deframed my chain of thought.
I'm sorry. I was just razzing.
Anyway, it's a platform made for the health and wellness market. And we sent out an invitation, a call to action. I even labeled it in the email that we want to get as many whole food, plant-based community people signed up for that app. We know our message has the highest degree of validity. There are other types of health and wellness niches on the app. We want to be inclusive in exposing those people to what we do and what we have to share about our lifestyle. So we really want to represent and have the plant-based community represented on that platform. By the way, Tami is at Nutmeg Notebook or Tami Kramer. Because when you sign up, and there's links in the show notes of this video, there's links all over the email I sent to our Nutmeg Notebook subscribers earlier today. Tami has posted on Facebook and Instagram with links to Goodself.com. And during the sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about them. And I don't know if you put in Tami Kramer or at Nutmeg Notebook. In fact, somebody that's already signed up, if you would let us know, did you use Tami's name or did you use at Nutmeg Notebook in that sign up process? Mm-hmm. I know a bunch of you signed up today already, so somebody shoot us a note on that so I know how to advise people. But anyway, this gets away from all of the other noise in the world, and if you want to go into an environment that talks about health and wellness and food and exercise and self-care and community and sharing. This is meant to be that kind of place. Oh, it's kind of like going on one of those retreats where it's all about well-being, huh?
There you go.
Yeah, they have one of those over in Aptos that's really famous. So I don't know if there's any...
So then the whole I wouldn't say the whole idea, but part of the idea behind it is that then people are able to, go there knowing that all the information that they see there is all going to be health related. So you're not going to get caught up in politics or a ton of ads trying to sell you stuff or
just shorts of people dancing and doing goofy stunts.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so safe place to go. All of the people who are allowed to have accounts where they are
posting
content have been vetted. And so everyone has had a meeting up at this point with the CEO, and he has vetted everyone who is doing content. So, they're making sure that somebody comes on and says they're a doctor, they really are a doctor.
Yeah, and there's a lot of doctors there's an awful lot of doctors that have signed up for it. We've been in communication with some more doctors in the plant-based community to also get signed up as
many of them say, I just don't have time for another social media platform, and which we totally understand. My frustration with Facebook and Instagram is that they're making it harder and harder to post links to the things that we want you guys to see. So whether it's a link to our YouTube channel, Instagram doesn't allow active links within the content of a post.
Oh, and then there's the business that Facebook is doing.
Yeah, so then you have to get a third party app in order to attach that. It's so ridiculous. They're just trying to make it more difficult. They're also trying to really push just doing all of the 90-second reels and videos to music. We polled you guys and you guys said, yeah, don't like that. We only had one person out of a couple hundred people who answered our poll say that they didn't mind the reels. And then Facebook is being very difficult when we post a link to a recipe or to our YouTube channel or to Amazon or anything. Then what they are doing is you have a pop-up window that it goes to.
And it says, warning, unsafe, unknown site, may not be secure. Are you sure you want to leave Facebook? Go back. And then in fine print down below it says, or go ahead to the site. It's our site. It's our
Or
link.
Sometimes it says, website link not working, which is a lie. And so we're just like super frustrated with the whole thing. And so when the Goodself came along, I was like, oh my gosh, that could be an answer, because they allow us, because they have vetted us, they will allow us to put links in our post, active links. So if I'm linking to a recipe or a video, you can be assured that that is an active link in the post. Also, we can do live shows right there on their app. So we can schedule it in advance. They're going to start letting us do that next week. We can schedule it in advance.
They're called Good Talks.
And yep, and they'll...
Now, are those voice or voice and video? I don't recall.
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember right now.
My first impression is that those were voice meetings, kind of like Clubhouse was trying to do.
And they may be.
Yeah.
And then I can let people talk. People can ask me a question.
Yeah, we can
on there. We have to look that up. I can't remember now. It's been so long since we talked about it.
So we've been focused on getting some of our Tami's information up on that site, so it's there and ready to go for today. It launched today, actually.
Yeah, it launched today. And many of you, I've already gotten 70 followers today, so many of you have already gotten the free app People were asking on Facebook, is it free? Is there a subscription price? No, it's free. The family who is putting this all together, they want the information to be available to everyone. And so the app is free. There is no subscription fee at all. And so we're super excited about that as well. And I have over 20 posts on there right now. And so
yeah, and the founder and CEO that we're interviewing, or
Tomorrow.
actually visiting with tomorrow, because we're gonna, we want to have him share information about the development of the app and what was behind it, what their vision is for the future with you guys. That's why we're having him. Is the nicest guy, very unassuming. He's not looking for the spotlight. We had to. He's got one picture that he used, kind of an artsy thing that showed up on. You'll see it on our YouTube thumbnail. That's his only marketing picture. So he's not about like making himself
famous
on social
No.
media. He is the behind the scenes developer of this thing, but quite a visionary in what he wants to accomplish for the world. When we've had our business Zoom meetings with him, we wound up doing our 30 or 40 minutes of business, and then we wound up chatting for another 15 or 20 minutes socially with him. He's just so nice. So anyway, we think you'll enjoy talking to him tomorrow. Please be sure to tune in at 9 o'clock with your questions. And that's why we wanted you to go on the app and sign up today, so that if you do have questions about the app, that you can bring those up tomorrow during the show.
Great. So I see a question. Lori has a question, Tom. I'll give it to you. My Holland bowl mill is pretty cut up on the bottom, and she means the inside bottom of the bowl. Is that normal? I love my bowl, but I'm concerned that I'm eating wood chips. Sandpaper.
Yes. Tammy's bowl also gets that way. It's a hardwood cherry, and she's using the mezzaluna knife all the time. And it does wear with time. And so, yeah, there's probably some microscopic little bits of wood dust in there.
What grit of sandpaper do you use when you...
Well, it depends on how rough the bowl is. I started out with, I think maybe it was a 150 or something, and then I finished off with the 200. Because it's curvy, it's a little bit odd to sand. I took a sponge, one of those wet sponges from, you want to get that little blue sponge over there, Tammy, out of the strainer?
Sure.
I use a sponge so that I can get the curve to it, and I wrap the paper around that to kind of match the curve of the bowl. And the trick is to have it be ever so slightly damp, so that it kind of holds its shape. So I'm talking about one of these, because when these dry out, they kind of get hard. So let it dry out, and then kind of bend it into that shape, and then wrap a piece of sandpaper over there. And if you're going to go to the hardware store or something, get an assorted pack. Get something that's like,
Oh, there you go.
60, 80, 100, 150, 200. I don't remember the numbers so much, but coarse, medium, fine. And I put it there, wrapped the half sheet around, and then just really worked it by hand in there, and managed to knock that down and get it smooth again. One thing I have said on prior live shows is, if I was perfect in eating and chopping my salad every day, eventually I would wear a hole through the bottom of my bowl. Mm-hmm. It will take a few years, but if I have done that, then I have worn my bowl out and will deserve to buy a new one at that point. They do have a lifetime warranty. That's for defects, but wearing a hole in the bottom because we're chopping salad really nearly every day, so that bowl's getting chopped in 350 days a year anyway.
And sometimes more than once a day.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I'll use it, to chop up a bunch of herbs or something.
So chop marks do happen. I find in the beechwood it happens a little bit less, I think, just because the wood is not quite as hard as the cherry wood. The cherry wood is harder, and maybe on a microscopic level, it might have a tendency for little tiny microscopic bits to chip. They are plant-based, so if you ingest them, then oh well, it'll be fine. So a lot of processed foods used to have sawdust in them to stretch them, right? So
Oh, that's awful. So Apple369 was asking, I saw it and then it disappeared. You guys, if you want to ask a question, great. Please remember to put the question marks in before and after, because it just helps them pop out at us. She was asking, is the Goodself app or website available on a computer, or is it just for an app for the phone? And it is just for the phone.
phones and tablets. Yeah, it's for,
Yeah, you should be able to bring it
yeah,
up
they've
on
written
your
it for
tablet.
iOS and for let's see if it says that here. How they word that. Yeah, let me. So we've got.
You're gonna put it on screen.
Yeah, you're on screen though too.
Okay, cool.
So working together, focused content, credibility, and transparency, supportive community, a kind community. This is just on Goodself.com. Goodself experts, social media your way, expert-led good talks, thought pieces, videos, photos, and health and wellness and lifestyle only. And yeah, it's for Google, the Google Store and the Apple Store are where you get this app, one or the other. So you can be on your what do you call the Google phones?
So Jessie said that she downloaded the app on her iPad.
Okay, so it did work there.
Connie just got the app. So I did get some questions today when on Instagram and Facebook. People were asking, so does this mean you're going to leave Facebook? You're going to leave Instagram? Well, I would love to, but the answer is no, not right now. So that's, where our largest audience is here on YouTube. I think we have about 40,000 people on YouTube
More than that.
follow us. More than that.
Yeah, closer to 44,000.
Okay. And then
Doesn't it
Facebook,
tell us here somewhere?
probably, and then Facebook, and then Instagram. So no, I don't feel like I can abandon all of those people. And this is a brand new platform, social media platform. We need to see, I mean, we feel like they've done a really good job trying to anticipate what people are going to like the most. They've tried to get rid of things that they think are annoying. I mean, when he vetted everyone that he talked to, he asked, what do you like about Facebook and Instagram? And well, we're not on TikTok, but he asked us, what do you like? What do you not like? What would you want to see? If you got to design the perfect app, social media app for health, what would you like to see? That kind of thing. And so they took all that information that they got from all the people that they vetted for it and tried to accommodate all of that the best that they could.
We will be staying, as Tami mentioned, on those two platforms. I think a lot of the energy that Tami was spending on Instagram in particular, because Instagram was encouraging her to do reels and such, but we've been redirecting that time and that energy back to YouTube and to Goodself more recently. Facebook is kind of fairly easy for you to use in your current routine. Instagram was a bigger time sink because there was back production involved, pre-post production involved, and Facebook is less sensitive to that. We do share on Facebook and Instagram for what I call billboarding. When we do, for instance, our blog, the newsletter for the blog, I always include a social media post with Facebook, which puts a link on Facebook of the blog letter so that people can read all of the announcements in the blog letter and not have it be a big old long thing on Facebook. So we do use them for information sharing. But like we're not doing, we will still do occasionally lives on both Facebook and Instagram. but we're not doing them on a scheduled basis like we do on YouTube.
Right. Right. Because YouTube is searchable. People can find our content. Once we've put it on Instagram and Facebook, it's like gone. You know, people aren't really going on there and searching for, you know, how to make a chopped salad or, you know, how to eat oil-free.
How do you cook beans?
Right.
Yeah.
They're really not. And
What really is in dump soup?
And Facebook as well. It's, you know, it's just not as searchable. The content isn't as searchable. And so I really feel like YouTube is a better place to put our information because it's so searchable, and as well as our blog, because, you know, then that is a place where you can go and you can look up our content. Those two places. So those two places are like my favorite places. And I don't know if you guys noticed that we cranked out a lot of new recipes in the couple of weeks preceding Thanksgiving. I had more, but then got sick. And so we'll see when I can get back around to doing those. And so that, you know, wants to be more of our focus. Of course, I can't recipe test until I get my taste buds back. But then we hope that we can, you know, focus more on getting new content out for you guys as well. You have something? Tom?
Yeah, Cat Nancer's asking, are we on Twitter? We might have a Twitter account. We don't use it.
No.
If there is a Twitter account, you know, there may or may not be any posts on it.
What you guys don't know is that the shorter videos, like the 1 minute or 90-second videos, take longer to edit and produce than our long form videos, because they require Tom to sit with the video editing for hours on end, meticulously trying to cut them down and put everything together so that it looks great, and then add music or text or what have you to it. The same with the reels. Like, it could take me 2 hours or 3 hours to make one of those reels, to take all the pictures, edit them, find music, put all the text in. They're like super labor intensive.
Yeah, the last time I was ever on Twitter, it was a text only thing. It was like texting. You can do other things. There's like videos on Twitter now or something.
Oh, I was thinking TikTok, wasn't I? I was thinking TikTok instead of
Well, no, it will be the same
Twitter.
difference. No, the question was about Twitter. So
the question was about Twitter.
And same thing on TikTok.
So no, we're not. I might
may
have a Twitter account, but I never use it.
And I may have created a Nutmeg Notebook TikTok account, but
I think so.
But we made a decision to not engage in another very duplicate type platform that didn't have a central theme to it. You know, because like on YouTube, we have a channel and there's a central theme to that channel, and on Goodself there's a central theme. You know, in the Facebook community, you know, there is a plant-based Facebook community, and we do use that for communications, you know, in the local community for what's going on here regionally. So, you know, it has some merit with like what's going on in the world. So, and I said that in the newsletter. We're not leaving Facebook or Instagram, but we are going to add Goodself to that. We're just going to shift some of our energies across those platforms to one that's more focused on what we're about.
Right.
So it's 4:23. So let's check for any other questions.
What I do like when I go on Goodself, because you know we've had the app for a number of weeks now, and what I do like is when I go on there, all of the content is health related. Now, it is not all whole food plant based, and certainly I've gasped at a few things that I've read, but you know, people don't know what they don't know yet about whole food plant based. But what I do love about it is that, you know, everything that I'm seeing on there has to do with living well, being well, and trying to improve your life. And so I really enjoy that. And so it's a nice little relief, and I'm not getting bombarded with all kinds of ads, which on Instagram now, the ads are just constant on there. And so, that's really nice and refreshing about the Goodself app is that, instead I'm seeing, someone's teaching about how to use tapping to, help you control anxiety. Somebody's talking about meditation. There's just all kinds of wonderful positive information that's being shared. So it's just a really different little community. Yeah.
And Thea's got a great question here because I had the same question when I signed up for Goodself, or when I signed us up. We only have one account. I do not have a separate Goodself account. We just have Tami's Nutmeg Notebook Goodself account. She's asking, is there a whole food plant-based category? Because there's all those interests that you go through.
Yeah.
And I clicked on like health and wellness, lifestyle medicine, integrated medicine, there, anything that was kind of a tangent to our world. Mm-hmm. I did not find a dedicated plant-based lifestyle category. I think we should ask Vinay for that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So let's make a note of that. Anthea, we will bring it up tomorrow with the founder and chief executive officer of Goodself. How's that? And because it would have been nice to find whole food, plant-based lifestyle. They may, that would be nice to have that. In layman's terms, I suppose they could do something with vegan in there as well.
Yeah.
So, they're not looking. The site is not looking to get involved in the animal rights movement. That has tremendous merit in terms of ethical veganism, but that's not what this platform is for.
Right.
It's about
Health.
It'd be about the health and wellness aspect of a whole food plant-based lifestyle. So if we're using the word vegan, we will be using that in terms of the dietary lifestyle that we follow.
Right.
So anyway, excellent question. I wondered that too as I was going, oh man, we don't have one that's like exactly for us. But I'm sure there's lots of categories where people are going, oh man, they don't have one exactly for us.
So Jesse says there is no existing category, but you can type in the words whole food plant exclusive and get appropriate people to follow.
Okay, in the search, yeah.
Yeah. So
Because like in your description, you're a whole food, you're a plant-based lifestyle expert, I think it says.
Yeah, and I'm putting in, when I'm doing my hashtags, I'm putting in whole food plant-based.
So content will come up.
They do have a hashtag plant-based.
Yes.
On there as well. So, and let's remember that it's in its infancy.
Yeah.
And so, initially they're not going to have everything that we want. And over time,
but they have a strong continuous improvement philosophy because they had intended to bring this out much earlier, but they realized that they needed to make it better. They realized they needed to have it not just be another same old of what's already there. It needed to have its own unique attributes in the marketplace to serve the community that it was reaching to serve. So they took their time to really do a lot of things right. And as Tami mentioned, the app is free. At some point in time, there will be some form of monetization to this site. Not necessarily charging for the app. I don't mean that, but something that whether let's say that we have an e-course for sale, and we want to sell our course on the Goodself app, then we may pay them not a commission to help us educate people and share that course with our eventual customers within the app. So that kind of monetization, in my mind, would make a lot of sense for them. They're not ready to do that now, but that's the kind of monetization I think you would see there, rather than a whole bunch of advertising pop-ups. So, I don't want to bash those too much because that on YouTube, that's kind of how we earn our living. So
Right.
So-
So Mary Jo says there is a plant-based category under nutrition. Yes, there is. It's plant and then hyphen based. And there's a hashtag also,
perfect.
plant-based
Okay.
also. Because I use that when I do my post. And someone said, Susan said, when I went in to sign into the app, I typed Nutmeg Notebook and it pulled up Tami Kramer at Nutmeg Notebook. Awesome.
Yeah, we do want to get as many plant-based people on there as we can. We would just love, we would just love to overwhelm them with plant-based people. Please contact your plant-based friends in your local communities. Share the at Nutmeg Notebook Tami Kramer tag with them and get them signed up. Let's get the plant-based community here aligned.
Yeah.
And have a home for healthy lifestyles, and then we will be able to reach so many other health conscious people that just might not have our information yet.
Yeah,
So,
so-
what a wonderful sharing opportunity this can be if we can collectively get aligned and get on it and share with your with your known plant-based cohorts in your own communities. Please do that. Yes.
So for the past month, there hasn't been anyone on there except content creators. And I've already gotten, several of them are following me and have left me comments. And then when I go back and look at their account, of course, they're not plant-based.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
these,
I think
these doctors are following Tami and saying, "Oh,
I
yay,
think-
a plant-based person! I'm
I'm
gonna have to check you out."
I'm thinking this is fantastic because I'm going to be able to expose them to things that, they don't know about yet. Somebody asked, let's see, will the ads be whole food plant-based appropriate? There are no ads right now. There are no ads on there. Now, if a doctor has videos that they sell or a book, they can post that in their post. They can post a link to it. Also, if somebody is posting something about a medical study or something like that, there is also an area for them to post
The
a
research,
link
yeah.
to the research to back up what they are saying, which I find that is like super significant and wonderful that they're doing that. Plus, remember that they were vetted to make sure if they say they're a doctor or a dietitian or what have you, they've been vetted and they really are what they say they are. So I like that as well. Let's see. Yeah, tomorrow, Jesse is saying that the show with Tami and Tom and the CEO of Goodself platform is tomorrow, so you can ask lots of questions of Vinay tomorrow as well. So anyway, but if you want to get the app today, people, you can go ahead.
Yeah,
you
we
can
thought-
get the app
yeah,
because over the next few days, sometimes new apps can crash.
And right now, you've got a pretty fair shot of choosing your name. Instead of being, Tom Kramer number 1297, I could just be Tom Kramer. So there's merit in getting on early and getting to choose your favorite handle. They call them handles. So the at Nutmeg Notebook is our handle.
Yeah. So you can sign in and use your real name more than likely right now without having to alter it, without
Yeah.
having to put an underscore
Yeah, you
or
could
add
be-
a
you
number
could be-
or
At Jesse who doesn't like oatmeal. Or you could be at Jesse who doesn't use her Revel. Or you could be at Jesse who's extremely helpful all the time. There. How was that one?
yeah.
That's better.
So-
Sorry, Jesse.
So somebody's saying that I have 88 followers on there right now. Nice. So does anybody have any questions other than something about Goodself, or COVID? You're welcome to ask them.
Yeah, otherwise we're
As
going to
well.
wrap it up.
Yeah. Because we're going to eat the soup that we can't taste. I said, well, what's the point? I was talking to a friend of mine this morning and I said, what's the point of eating if you can't taste it? you know, it's amazing how much pleasure we get from food. And she said, you just need to remember right now that you are eating for nutrition. You are not eating for pleasure right now, but you need to continue to eat for nutrition to build up your strength so that you can get completely past this. So that's what I had at lunch. I had to remind myself.
Yeah, I ate my salad yesterday, and you were like, you didn't want a salad, and I just knew I needed to eat a salad because my body's not happy if I don't have my salads. So
Yeah.
I'll have a salad on the side. I'll have a big bowl.
Well,
of
I
soup.
sauteed. So I did batch prep salads yesterday. I made 14 salads yesterday. And I took one of those and I did saute it like how I do in a skillet, because we can saute our salads. We don't have to eat them cold. And I sauteed it, and then I had it over. We had a little bit of the white rice left over, and then I had oat groats that were frozen, and so I heated those up, and then put it over the top. And I made the smoky mushrooms yesterday, and I cannot taste them. And you guys, if you have made those, you know how flavorful those are. I was so excited. I had some of my hummus
There you
was
go,
frozen.
wasting our liquid smoke.
I know, I couldn't even taste it. So I had some of the hummus on the veggies, and I had some of the mushrooms on the veggies, and I couldn't even taste it. Mm-hmm. But I just kept telling myself, you're eating for nutrition. You're eating for nutrition.
Okay, well, let's eat for nutrition.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
and
ready.
the other point I wanted to make was that we were so grateful that we do the batch cooking, and that
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and that we had so much food in our freezer, because of course I did not feel like cooking at all for the past week, and Tom did not feel like cooking, but he was eating soup every day.
Yeah, there was frozen soups in the freezer. I made dump soup a couple of times. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I did have, sometimes I just had some toast.
Right.
2 meals because I couldn't eat.
Yeah. But you knew you needed something.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you just never know in life what's going to happen. Like, everything can be fine one day, and the next day you can have a crisis. And so just having all that food batch prepped was amazing. Oh, and then I had a Japanese sweet potato a couple days ago. I thought, well, maybe I'll have that for dinner. And so I air fried it. And Tiffany, you know, when we water fast for like 36 hours, 36 hours, and then we get to have like a steamed Japanese sweet potato, how incredibly flavorful and amazing. And it's like the best thing you've ever eaten. I couldn't even taste the Japanese sweet potato air fried, and it was such a disappointment.
Didn't it taste smooth and mushy?
No, just
What was the texture?
I knew what texture it was, but it had zero flavor. I did not enjoy one bite of it.
It was just food.
Yeah, I just had to force myself to eat it. It was
just
crazy.
food.
It was just free food.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway, you guys, if you are not, Jesse says try a spoonful of Nick's pepperoni spice and see if that cuts through the taste and smell fog. I will do that. I have a couple jars of it.
I
will
see
do
out
that.
of the corner of my hair here, somebody asked about signing up for the newsletter. If you want to catch today's, you can go to our Facebook page and click on the Facebook post there. There's a link, and that link actually takes you to today's newsletter, so you can catch what I sent out today.
Yes.
Oh, we also, in the newsletter, it is December.
Oh, yeah.
Starting tomorrow, right? And starting tomorrow, and I didn't say that in the email. California Balsam
You gave
Mix.
him the date.
Yeah, California Balsam Mix once every quarter promotion is tomorrow. It's a little involved, so go to Facebook and click on the newsletter. I copied all of their rules and regulations that we were provided by their administration guy, because you buy 3 bottles of vinegar, and then you get two of the, not the little 1.5 ounce samples, but the
Travel.
the
The
3 ounce
travel.
travel. You get 2 3 ounce travel bottles for free. and you get those for every 3 bottles. You still get the 1.5 ounces when you use our our CaliforniaBalsamic.com/nutmeg link, but you only get those one time, like for the whole order. But and they always do that for our linked customers. So, but yeah, go to Facebook if you're not already a subscriber, and get to the blog letter that way, and then get subscribed.
Okay, so Pamela says, use essential oils and sniff them. You are so on target. So I found a YouTube video that is all about how to help reinstate your sense of smell when you've lost it to COVID. And so they say these are the scents that you need to use, and you, I have to watch it again, but you sniff them each for a certain amount of seconds.
Do you read the labels so you know what you're smelling?
Yeah, multiple times a day. And so they say it's lemon, rose, eucalyptus, and cloves. So I have everything except the rose. But I was going to look and see if any of the oils that I have that are mixtures, if any of them
Has rose
have
in it?
rose in
So
it.
those jumpstart your olfactory
They do.
nerves.
They do. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's like a therapy that you do.
Yeah.
And you do it so many times a day. So I thought we could start doing that.
So if I want to see better, all I got to do is look at pretty things. So I can just look at
Oh,
you.
you're just full of it, aren't
and I'll see
you?
better.
Yeah. So yes, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, which would be 11 o'clock Central, noon Eastern. Oh, it would be
Noon Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah, but which one is Mountain? Is Mountain just 1 hour
I
ahead?
don't do Mountain. You're hung up on this
I
Mountain
don't know.
thing.
Well, that's because I felt bad one time when you were dissing the Mountain people, and we have viewers that are in Mountain
I don't
time.
diss Mountain people.
You did no, you dissed the Mountain time one time, and I felt bad.
There's Eastern, Central would be 11, and Mountain time would be 10, and Pacific time would be 9.
Okay.
Okay, do I have everybody? Is everybody in the United States happy now and feeling appreciated? Okay.
Catherine says, I don't know anyone who's gotten Omicron COVID that has lost their sense of taste or smell. It must be a West Coast thing. No, not really. It isn't, honey.
Let's change the time zone in the East Coast till 1 o'clock. Throw those East Coast people off.
I mean, if you look it up on the internet, you'll see that 40,
That was good.
40
That was good.
That was good. 40 to 50%
Have
of
we
the
used
people.
that? It must be a West Coast issue, or it must be an East Coast
I
issue.
like that. Mountain is at 1 hour ahead of us. Thank you, Anthea. I appreciate it. Okay.
All right.
Yes, Lori says, yes, do this. It helped me. But when I stopped doing it, my sense of smell retreated.
Oh.
Oh, that
then
is...
get them out and leave them out. So.
That is so interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. And we're going to see if we can find
Okay.
rose.
So-
And I won't have fresh flowers tomorrow, you guys.
Because we're under quarantine still.
We're under quarantine. We can't go to the store yet. And my bouquet, as you can see back here, is just about, it's on its last leg.
It ran out of water one day. We got up one morning and the whole
It
thing
was like,
boom.
and I was like, oh my
that was
gosh.
like the third day we had it.
It was. You're
Yeah.
right. Because I got
And-
it for Thanksgiving.
And she says, Tom, I forgot to water it. It was dry. It like sucked up all of the water.
It did.
You know, we're heating now and there hasn't been rain, so I'm sure that the air is dry.
Yeah. And when it's supposed to storm here tonight, it might be storming tomorrow morning when we do our show.
Well, that'd be good.
It could be good.
Well, a storm is
extra nice.
a gentle rain here. It's very
Yeah.
rare that we have like thunder or anything.
Right, it's
So,
true.
Okay.
So anyway, Tiffany, I won't have fresh flowers for you tomorrow.
We'll see how
But
many of these are left.
let's see. What do I have? My African violet is blooming, and
It's on the tail end too. It's been blooming for what, 6 weeks now?
yeah, and my orchid is still in bloom.
Yeah.
So we'll set the orchid over there.
Okay.
Maybe the orchid and the African violet
All right.
can set over there.
Okay, you guys, we got to go.
Because I don't think we have any fresh flowers in the yard in bloom right now either.
No.
No. Okay.
Oh, the dahlias are blooming. Those ones in the way back, the dahlias, the ones that bloom all winter.
Oh.
Dahlias, am I saying the right
well,
thing?
we can't. They're not. Those aren't flowers we can cut, though, huh?
No, they would wilt right away. Okay, we're saying goodbye now.
Okay, we are. We're saying. I was just
So-
looking to see if there was anybody
Okay,
else that had
get-
anything. Jesse, Tiffany,
Yeah.
thank you so much for hopping on here with us.
Get yourself.
It feels good to be back.
Yeah, get yourself and your plant-based friends signed up on Goodself. Let them know that at Nutmeg Notebook sent you. Let's populate that platform and drive this movement. It's an opportunity that doesn't come along often this way.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for the plant-based community. So
Yeah, I mean, Facebook started out with like 12 users, the people that worked there. So,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So anyway, yeah, get signed up and then we'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, sounds great. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tiffany and Jesse.
Yes.
I'm Tammy.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
Get healthy and stay healthy. One meal at a time. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.